Herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SE Talk Vancouver 2020 und ich habe schon wieder eine neue Story und diesmal geht es auch um ein anderes Commodity und zwar First Vanadium Corp. Paul Cowley, er ist Präsident und CEO ja, er wird uns jetzt die Story mal vorstellen. Paul, thank you to have time and from your name, I guess your commodity we're looking for is vanadium.
Focused on vanadium in Nevada.
In Nevada.
Yeah.
And US is not a producer of vanadium.
That's correct. Yeah, so geopolitically, we're in a very good jurisdiction. Not only in the US, but also in Nevada, which is a great mining district for regulators and to advance mines.
Yeah. The most people, and so I don't know too much about vanadium. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can fill us in a little bit in the commodity, for what you use vanadium and how the market looks like.
Okay. Yeah, vanadium is principally an alloy to strengthen steel. Mm-hmm. So 2 pounds of vanadium in a ton of rebar or steel will double its strength. Mm-hmm. So it's got some very, very good qualities for infrastructural metals, for building bridges and pipelines and in jet aircraft because it lightens the steel. Mm-hmm. It's also a very, very critical metal for large battery storage, energy storage.
Okay, the redox flow battery.
Redox flow battery, yeah. It's superior to the lithium battery in many respects and longer lasting, deeper charge, is not flammable like the lithium battery is. So there's some 25-year life to these batteries plus, whereas a lithium battery may run 5 years and then you have to replace it. Mm-hmm. And there's no risk of it blowing up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and the price of vanadium, can an investor look at the price of vanadium or is
there's
it really?
There's a website that's called vanadiumprice.com.
Okay.
They can monitor that.
Okay, and how the price performed in the last 12 months?
Oh, the last 12 months, we were up quite a bit higher than we are right now. We were at about $15 to $17 a pound. Mm-hmm. Now we're at about $6 a pound. Mm-hmm. So there's a significant drop in the last 2 months to $6. It was in the fall. It was $8.50 a pound.
Is there a reason why it coming down?
Well, I think a lot has to do with the U.S.-China trade issues, and it's just given cause for pause on global expansion and investments in infrastructure and global growth. Mm-hmm. So I think that's probably the principal one, and I think that there's some compliance things that may be. There were expectations of a compliance with the Chinese to enforce their higher standards of vanadium in the rebar for safer, stronger rebar. Mm-hmm. That looks as if it hasn't been implemented.
Last question to the vanadium market itself. What are the biggest country to produce vanadium?
China is.
China. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's make
consumer and producer.
Okay. So coming to your project in Nevada, in which stage you are, what you're doing so far, and what you're planning for 2020.
Okay, so we're in Nevada, in the state of Nevada. In the northern part, we're actually in a very, very productive gold trend, the Carlin gold trend, and we're in that trend as well. And yet there's this high grade primary vanadium deposit sitting there as well. Which is the one that we've drilled. We've put 2 drill campaigns together, resource calculation about a year ago. Mm-hmm. A very good resource there, 32 million tons of 0.6 V2O5, which may mean something to some of the viewers, but it's a higher grade than most. And now we've done metallurgical work, and now we're proceeding to a preliminary economic assessment. So that's the first level of the economic studies. Mm-hmm. That's being performed right now, and we're expecting results by this quarter, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's for the PDAC, maybe that you.
Possibly, it's within the PDACs at the beginning of March. So it could very well fit in before PDAC. Mm-hmm. And another interesting thing, that's one catalyst for us this year, but also we've identified a very, very interesting gold target on the same property because it's in the Carlin Gold Trend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been identified by a geologist who has discovered a number of ounces of gold, millions of ounces of gold, about 6 million ounces of gold in about 5 or 6 miles away from our property.
Okay.
So he's identified this gold target on our property as well. He sees this very similar signatures in geophysics and the structures and the alteration and the gold on our property that he looks for when he's looking for new discoveries. So this is something that's just come up in the last couple of months. So we're very intrigued by that, especially with gold market coming on stream, when you've got you're in the right place. The Carlin Gold Trend has produced 90 million ounces of gold, and it's going to be mining for another 40, 60 years. So we're in the right area that's super productive. And we've got this target that's been identified by a very, very qualified, respected geologist who's identified and discovered ounces very close to our property. So he knows the geology in that camp very, very well.
So that's mean for 2020 you plan two things. One is on the vanadium side, so you're coming up with the PEA.
Yeah.
Do you plan further drilling then this year?
We'd like to do first round of drilling on that drill target.
Mm-hmm. And by the gold, you plan on the gold?
That's what I mean. Drilling on the gold target. Yeah.
And on the vanadium, you plan some.
That'll depend on the outcome of the preliminary economic assessment. Usually, there would be recommendations to do some drilling, and so it depends on what gets. We would expect there could be another $500,000 worth of drilling or the like, something like that.
Okay.
Because it's very well defined as it is, and there's opportunities for it to expand.
But it's very interesting that you have a vanadium, and now
it
shows. First, it surprised me that you have a vanadium deposit in the Carlin Trend.
Yes.
That you find gold in Carlin Trend is normal.
Normal, right? But vanadium
is.
And the vanadium is a sizable deposit. It's got billions of dollars of in the ground value. Yeah.
Coming back to the vanadium, the long view. What do you think, or when you think you're coming up? Then after PEA, it's normally a pre-fee or feasibility, a bankable feasibility study. So how the ways looks like, and what you planning here, or when you think it's ready. That somebody comes in and take over this, or is it more the idea that you bring it by yourself in production?
Well, there's a number of things to talk about, but there's two exit strategies that we could employ. One is getting bought out by someone who sees the value that we see, and the other one is to carry on and do the production ourselves. And we have an extraordinary team of people in our organization. They've all there's literally over 400 years of geological and engineering experience, all from people that have worked with major mining companies before, and all senior people. So we've got people from explorers who've discovered gold deposits. We've got mine builders, we've got metallurgists, we've got mining operators, like mining engineers. So it's an extraordinarily qualified team to carry it forward into production. The question will be the financing
for sure.
Moving forward, the vanadium price, the cost of the capex of the project, which we will find out from the PEA, and then the appeal in the marketplace to raise money for it.
But the more interesting point is for sure now the gold. And when you're coming up with a PEA and with a pre-fee, it's a boring time for the most exploration companies.
Yeah.
So and also then also for the most investors, they know exactly it's going up, it's going forward, and it's helped to improve the project. But the excitement
that's right. It's very much so.
So with the gold project now, it's a perfect
perfect opportunity for having a really, really good exploration opportunity. Because exploration seems to be that's where you get the most lift when you're doing good things. And for our case, we did very good things in 2018 when we were drilling. Our share price went up to $2 because we were delivering good geological information at a time when vanadium prices were also very, very high. But that's the exciting part. That's when there's lots of volume and turnover and mystery and interest. So that exploration game is what draws a lot of investors in for that big opportunity. And I think, having this gold thing is this is a an opportunity to drill into a deeper, high grade, large tonnage Carlin type deposit.
With a rising gold price.
With rising gold price, yeah, exactly.
So it's the same environment.
It is. It's exciting. Yeah.
So, so what do you plan on the gold project? How many bore meters, or
We're just starting to formulate that now, but 3 or 4 holes to start with.
Okay. How deep you must drill normally this kind?
These ones in Nevada, most of the drilling now, even with Barrick and Newmont, they're all drilling 1,000, 2,000 feet, 4,000 feet. Their deposits are much deeper now. We don't know at what depths. We're estimating between 1,000 and 2,000 feet. But it's that'll be one of the reasons why, or one of the purposes of the first round of drilling, is to find the depth of that critical stratigraphy that we know is going to be there. It's just what depth it's going to be.
Okay. Shareholder structure. How many shares are outstanding? Where are the biggest companies?
Groups? 42 million shares out. So it's a very tight company. We've done very well in minimizing dilution. We're a retail-based company. There's a few smaller funds, but they're quite small and not necessarily that well known. Some large individual investors, but there's been such a turnover in the last 2 years that we're not really sure who's holding all the stock now.
But this is very tight shares.
Yeah, the insiders would have about 15% of the company. That helps.
Do you have enough money to do the drilling on the gold project, or
we'll need to top up a little bit on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Paul, I think it was a great first introduction to your company. Das Ganze auf Deutsch zusammenfassen. Also Vanadium ist klar, um was es geht. Braucht man vor allem in der Stahlindustrie, um die Härte bzw. des Stahls zu erhöhen. Und was aber sehr spannend ist, dass also Sie haben ein Vanadium Projekt, das Sie wahrscheinlich rund um die PDAC mit einer ersten PEA rausgekommen. Da wird man dann sehen, was die Ideen sind, was man machen kann, was man machen soll, um das Projekt weiterzuentwickeln. Er sagt selber, das sind Milliarden, die da im Boden stecken, und das ist ein sehr hochgradiges Vanadium-Projekt und ein sehr potentes Vanadium-Projekt. Leider ist der Vanadium-Preis gefallen, und deswegen ist auch der Aktienkurs ein bisschen in Mitleidenschaft geraten. Aber was spannend ist, auf demselben Projekt, und das hat er gesagt, sie sind ja eigentlich in Nevada, im Carlin Trend, und den Carlin Trend wissen wir eigentlich, der ist für Gold eigentlich da, und dass es dort Vanadium gibt, ist auch eine spannende Sache. So, aber wie es der Zufall so will, hat ein sehr respektierter Geologe, der früher für die großen Firmen dort im Carlin Trend nach Gold gesucht haben, auf ihrem Projekt Indikationen gefunden, dass sie auf einem Goldprojekt sitzen. Und das wollen sie dementsprechend jetzt bohren. Es ist nicht so, dass sie jetzt sagen, okay, Vanadium ist jetzt nicht mehr so in unserem Fokus, sondern wir wollen einfach jetzt anders reinnehmen, weil Gold gerade läuft. Nein, sie durch Zufall sind auf einem Projekt, wo es Vanadium sitzt, schaut so aus, wie wenn Gold auch geben würde. Und das wollen sie heuer testen mit 3 bis 4 Bohrlöchern, die deutlich tiefer sind. Also sie schätzen zwischen 1000 und 2000 Feet. Das müsste dann so zwischen 300 und 600 Meter sein, dass sie dort dementsprechend auf Gold treffen sollen. Und das werden sie heuer dementsprechend probieren. Vielleicht allerdings auch noch, wenn das beim Vanadium Projekt bohren, wenn dementsprechend die PE heraus ist und sie mehr wissen, wie die erste ökonomische oder wirtschaftliche Studie heraus ist, dann wissen sie einfach, wie das besser ausschaut. Die Aktionärstruktur ist sehr gering. 42 Million Shares out of 48. 42. 42 Millionen Aktien sind draußen. 15% hat ungefähr das Management. Es gibt keine größeren Gruppen, das großteils Retail gehalten, also kleinere Gruppen, kleinere Fonds. Und dadurch, dass sie vor 2 Jahren so extrem gehandelt worden sind, weil sie mit extrem guten Vanadium-Ergebnissen gekommen sind, nur dazu mit einem steigenden Vanadium-Preis, da sind sie bis zu $2 hochgelaufen, hat es sehr viel Volumen gegeben und deswegen wissen sie ja gar nicht so genau, wie wer welche Aktien besitzt. Aber jetzt könnte natürlich auch eine ganz interessante Situation sein, dass jetzt natürlich mit dem Goldprojekt, wenn sie dort mit guten Zahlen rauskommen, auch beim steigenden Goldpreis hier die Story wiederholen können. Und sie haben halt einfach das Vanadium im Hintergrund, das dann jederzeit natürlich auch vorangetrieben wird, sodass sie halt das entweder selber in Produktion bringen, wie er sagt, oder es verkauft wird, was wahrscheinlicher ist. Aber extrem spannend, muss man ehrlicherweise sagen, First Vanadium Corp. Und das war es von denen im Jänner 2020 Vancouver. Tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Thank you very much.